Let's say that civilization has collapsed. Do you think it's possible to forget the knowledge we have about technology and such?
To forget it?
Yeah. I mean, that's an argument you hear from a lot of people that criticizes critics of civilization. Like, we can't forget the knowledge that we have now. You know, we can't go back to living in the Stone Age and things like that.
Well, that's an interesting point. You know, it's a question of what is more valid, what is more healthy. Is it reconnecting with the Earth, or is it maintaining these technological approaches or values?
The sunbeams stream forward, dawn boys with shimmering shoes of yellow on top of the sunbeams that stream toward us. They are dancing.
I mean, in other words, if you can see that a wrong turn was made and mistakes are made that make the situation worse, you would think that those are things that we need to see and learn from and not repeat. We wouldn't want to recycle the same disaster. I wouldn't think, anyway. So why wouldn't you forget it? I mean, not forget it in terms of amnesia, but maybe it's better to remember what do these things bring. If you think that this is the promise and of a better life and so forth, well, is it? Yes or no? And if you think it is, then you're going to cling to it. And if you don't, then you're not going to cling to it. You know, that's. But we have this vantage point, it strikes me, that we can see where some of this has been leading and what the result is, and you know, so we can do something better.
Yeah, change the guy's like point. Point he. Cái bao. Ai đó. Như cái bao phải ao aga. Rồi.
Như cái bao phải point. Point.
Tres.
Như cái bao phải point. Này số ai cái bao.
Như cái bao phải. Quatro.
Point cái.
Này, ai chơi cô ba?
Này cái.
Yes. Aga cinco. Ai nè ai ô bao.
Ba cái.
Ai đó. Ba.
Ba cái số ai.
Ai đó. Ai như cái bao phải ao aga seis.
Này ba cái số ai.
Này
cái ba cái số ai.
Sete. Ai chơi ô.
Hỏi cái. Này ba cái số ai.
Này.
Cái. Này ba cái số ai.
Ai đó như vậy.
We'll start with the idea that language really can influence how we think. One example of this was described this summer in the journal Science. To look at this example, we need to visit Brazil and the Piraha people. Our guide is Dr. Peter Gordon from Columbia University. He spent time with the Piraha and has observed their culture. One of the many interesting features of the Piraha is the fact they only have counting words for 1 and 2. Any quantities larger than this are referred to as many. But according to Dr. Gordon, even the counters they have aren't specific.
Even 1 and 2, it turns out, are very vague. And so 1 really means sort of 1, and it could mean 2 or 3, and then 2 means, you know, more than 1, but but that's vague too. And in fact, the word for 1, and so the words for 1 and 2 are actually very similar. So the word for 1 is hoi, and the word for 2 is hoi, and they just differ in the tone, whether it's falling or rising. And then the word for 1 also means small. So if you wanted to say this is small and that is big, you would also use the word hoi to mean small. And so there's actually no distinction being made between a sort of discrete numerical quantity and a sort of overall size.
Speaking life. I am learning the native language of my area because I want to speak and think and sing in the living tongue born of the mother on which I walk. I want the birds in the grasses to hear my words as they would hear the crackling frost and the talking stream. I want the hills to befriend me as a speaker of the sweet language they have echoed for untold generations of its speakers. I want to honor life in words that speak life. I want my family to share the beauty within these words and the wisdoms that come through them with words that know how to respect and express such voicings.
So what do you think is the alternative then? Is it going, you know, because a lot of people say you can't go back. I think I mentioned that earlier, you know. I mean, that's the usual response.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think we have to. That's just, to me, that's very annoying. People just repeat that without thinking.
Yeah.
Oh, well, what does that mean? So we go forward into a worsening, crazy reality? I mean, if you want to, you know what I mean? That's kind of a mantra that people say, but what does it actually mean? I mean, and I know that there are Native people who say, who don't accept that at all. They would love to go back. They would.
Yeah.
They don't. They have seen everything taken away,
Yeah.
and they prefer the other way. So let's listen to that for a change.
Yeah.
Marido